So my name is Shondell Davis. I've lived in Boston my whole life. I am a mother of 6 children and 17 lovely grandchildren. I am also a widow and have lived in the area since I was young. And my youngest son, Johnny, was killed in 2009. I am currently working as a community trauma specialist, community trauma healing specialist, working in the community with people who have endured trauma. So my story with Higher Ground, pretty sure that I was introduced through the school council. One of my youngest grandsons, that he was enrolled at the Higginson Inclusion School, and I was asked to be on the school council, and I believe that's where I got connected with Higher Ground. So for me, for Surround Care, I've done multiple roles. I try to be involved in his school. I have a position now that allows that. Before I didn't have that access or that availability. So being involved in his school, in the community, in his upbringing, it was really important for me to be involved. So I think that's how I started. It's important to be updated with the times, especially like the social media and computers. So I wanted to be engaged in that to make sure that when he started to speak this terminology or come home with information, I would be able to understand. A lot of kids in our community get frustrated when they think parents don't understand, only because of the language that they're speaking. And it sounds simple, but can be complicated because sometimes kids don't have the right words or know how to say the right words. So, kids are very responsive on your reactions. So I try to learn the terminology and be up to date on the social media. It's important to understand it. I think it was important because for me, being part of the organization is like the school council. So you got to be a part of the hiring process. You got to see, as parents, we sit around like, I don't like that teacher, I don't like that person. I got to be a part of that process, which was new for me, but it was very interesting because you're actually part of a team that you're giving a parent voice on when interviewing for new staff for the schools, and learned through the committees that are on the backbone that they are hearing us, that they are working on these problems, and they have, opened up to include parents. And I don't think a lot of parents know that they have a voice on these committees. I would read up on as much as I could. It's hard for some people to read because it's hard language to understand, because if you're not familiar with it, you're going to put it down fast. I encourage you to ask questions. I encourage you to go to any type of school event or any meetings that you can be part of. Really, the commitment's not a lot. It's really not like once a month. When you're in Boston Public Schools, you have to be a part of that team. So I want to call it a team because when you have to be able to connect and work with your teachers to raise your child as a village, like they used to say. You cannot just send your child to school. One, education, because you talk about the budget, you talked about, the finances, the surveys. The surveys are a big thing for me. I would always fill out the survey, especially if there was like a perks connected to it. Mm-hmm. But I realized the surveys are so important because that's your voice when you can't be at a meeting, when you can't be there. You can't just sit there and say to your friend, they're not doing anything. You have to say to the proper people, this is what I'm feeling. This needs to be done. So it helped me to learn about the budget. It helped me to learn about the backside of the mental health, that they are paying attention not only to the kids, but to the staff and to the parents, because once again, it's a team, it's a unity. If you have a teacher that's not in sort because of emotional things, then the child, the kids pick up on all of that from the parents. So I feel like Higher Ground has put like a platform to help all that's involved so that we can all work together around the child. And I think that's the best benefit for the child. It's teamwork. It's the village. It's the village that we used to have a long time ago, coming back in a different way, 5 years. I just hope that Higher Ground continues to do what they do to help other families that's coming, and they continue doing what they're doing and putting things together to help the families in Boston Public Schools. I love being a part of Higher Ground because I like organizations that show up and do versus send out the pretty cards. And so Higher Ground has really helped me as a grandmother raising a grandchild, helped me to make sure that I was aligned where I need to be aligned to take care of him the best way that I can. So Higher Ground has given me lots of tools, lots of opportunities to build on that and to be able to walk with my grandson and help him get the best education and his needs, all his needs met. I learned that it's okay as a parent to learn. Like, we don't have to think that we know everything, that we don't have to be like, oh, I do know everything. Because we know when our kids get older and we're trying to do the computers and stuff, our kids will be like, oh, you do it this way. We have to go to our kids. It's okay to not know everything, and it's okay to still learn. And it's hard for parents, for adults to say that they don't understand something, but it's okay to not understand. Be open-minded, because as adults, we can learn as much as we did years ago, and we can learn much more going forward. So, yes.